Would you or someone you know like to be a guest on Listen Up? If so, give us a call at area code 816-535-1081. That's area code 816-535-1081. Or better yet, email us at listenupblackpeople@gmail.com.
Hello everyone, I'm Kelvin Tiller, owner of Tiller's Mixed Martial Arts here in Kansas City, Kansas. Here at Tiller's Mixed Martial Arts, I offer boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, and strength and conditioning. We have affordable pricing for adults and children. I am open Monday through Saturday, so please come out and support, and I hope to see you soon.
Hi, I'm Tova Tanner of Royal Cohesive Network. We are a nonprofit organization that work with youth in the local community. Our four cornerstones of sustainability are literacy, youth entrepreneurship, homeschool hub, and also gardening. Our mission is to engage people in educational and professional development to enhance sustainability. You can visit our website at www.royalnetwork.org, or you can follow us on Facebook. You can also email us at info@royalnetwork.org.
Hi, I'm Adrienne Curry.
Hi, and I'm Florence Curry.
And we are the owners of Longevity Nutrition.
Longevity Nutrition is a company that serves healthy shakes, energizing teas, sports nutrition, and we would like to offer you good nutrition.
What better way than to think about your health and become healthier? We're here to service you. We're open Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 5, and Saturdays, 8 to 3.
Yes, and we're going to work on that good nutrition inside out.
That's right.
Pine Hill Productions, providing voiceover and narration for your production needs.
This episode of Listen Up is sponsored by Legends Comedy Club and Sports Lounge, Kansas City's premier black-owned comedy club where the laughs are on us and the experience is second to none.
All right.
Desmond
you-
Logan.
Yes, sir.
Desmond the Cash Logan.
Yeah, that'd be me.
So look, what's the business, man? Tell me a little bit about the business.
Well, I sell cash cars. So
Okay.
I jumped into the game selling cars to help the community out. You got so many car dealerships that high finance rates and just do a lot of stuff to drain the money from the community. So I always felt like if I sell the cars cheap,
Right.
you know what I mean, people can own the car instead of worrying about car payment and all the other stuff. So I just try to I'm for the underdog.
Right. Okay. That's cool. I understand. I like that. Let me ask you this question: in the business of cars, I've dealt with people, especially like young women, who are always looking for a car, something that's reliable to get to and from work,
Right.
kids to and from the daycare and things like that. With cash cars, do you see that as being a concern, even with your business? Do you get women that'll come in and one of the things they're looking for is something that's reliable? Is that something they can look forward to when they come to see you?
I sell a lot of cars to a lot of women. Women is the ones with the money. The baby
Right.
daddies ain't the ones with the money. So I always tell them, I'm not the car dealership where you say, hey, I want a car.
Right.
When you want something, you know what I mean? Like if you want something to eat, you go get you a T-bone steak or some shrimps or something, right? But when you need something to eat, you stop at Taco Bell, Church's Chicken, you know what I mean? So I'm the Taco Bell and Church's Chicken of cars.
Right.
I get you what you need, all right? So my thing is try to fulfill their needs, not their wants.
Gotcha.
So a lot of women don't know how to check the oil. They don't know how to do a lot of things. So I go through a lot of things trying to educate the women on the cars that I sell. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I tell them, hey, I clean the motor so they can see the oil stick, the transmission, and I walk them through it because I know there's no real men in their lives.
Right.
No, it's no real men. It's a lacking of real men right now.
Right. and I, you know what? I have to agree. I've been one of those men who have went to go over cars and do the pre-purchase car check, so to speak. And I think that's important, you being, owning a car dealership and you being trustworthy enough to go over the car with them, because I think that's really important, because most women go into car purchasing not really knowing what to look for.
And they get beat.
Right.
They get beat.
You know what, so let me ask you this. For the audience that's out there, I'm sure there's somebody out there right now that's looking for a car. What would you say? Give us something that's important for that person that's looking for a car, that's going out looking for a car. What type of things should they check for?
The oil. You check the oil. You make sure the oil is not milky. If it look like chocolate milk, that means it has a blown head gasket. You know what I mean? If the oil's too dirty, you know what I mean? When you purchase a car, you need to hurry up and change the oil.
Right.
So in my slogan, if the motor ain't blown up and the train ain't slipping, don't bring that bitch back tripping. Well, I changed the oil the day they purchase it, to let them know this is new oil. You know what I mean? So I know the motor ain't gonna be blown up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then I make sure the transmission fluid is topped off. I make sure everything is good. So for most women, you gotta listen for that transmission. That's why I tell, if you ever seen my commercial, I tell you, if you say, hey, I need this car to get back and forth to Overland Park. Put some gas in it. Drive to Overland Park. You know what I mean? If it make it to your destination and back, that's the car for you.
Yeah, and that's the important. That's the important thing, that you're getting back and forth to your destination. But at the same time, we have to understand that you purchased a used car. So everything ain't gonna be perfect.
Right.
But like you said, you want that transmission not to be slipping.
Yeah, we sell motors and transmissions. The rest of the car is free. So if the sunroof don't work, I didn't say you that. If the back door don't open, I did not say you that neither. I sold you the motor and transmission. You know what I mean?
And those are easy fixes for the most part.
Yeah, they
those
are
easy fixes.
Pick and pull got you.
And now being not only a car dealer, I understand you do some things in the community.
Yes, sir.
And like I said, being a car dealership, you have a relationship with the community, because community members are coming to see you for car purchases. And from what I understand, in your background, a lot of people know you.
Yes, sir.
They trust you. Because you're upfront and honest with them. So give us a little background on some of the things that you deal with within the metropolitan area here in Kansas City.
Well, right now I'm with the Justice Center, and so what we're trying to do is make change in the community. In order for us to make change in the community, we have to change the people who run the community.
Right.
You know what I mean? We can't sit and complain about the mayor doing this and the mayor doing that if we're not trying to put somebody who look like us and sound like us in that mayor seat. We can't complain about what the city council's doing if we not putting somebody who look like us, sound like us, live in the same neighborhood as us to help us. We can't complain about the police if we're not trying to encourage our young to be the police, to police us, to protect us. This is one thing that people need to understand. All guns. All right, let's walk it down. White people carry guns. Who do you think they go shoot? Who do you think they got guns for? Us. Been that way. The Iranians got guns. You know what I mean? Who do you think they go shoot? You don't think they go shoot another Iranian because they not in Iraq. Nigga, they here. You know what I mean? So you got the Chinese who's selling weave and hair products to the black community. They got guns, right? And who do you think they go shoot? And last but not least, I have a gun, and I don't know if you have a gun, but at the end of the day, who do you think you're going to shoot? So we don't have not one gun in the hood that's here to protect us. Every last gun is pointed at us. If that's not scary, you know what I mean? So I understand that. So what I'm trying to do is get us to come together. I'm trying to go back to the Martin Luther King and Malcolm X days when it was like, it was us. When Martin Luther King, he had a dream that we got along with everybody, whites, blacks, Mexican, Chinese, right? We do that. We do that. But when he had that dream, at that time, it was nothing but us. That's all we had. You know what I mean? So now we are getting along with everybody but us. And so I'm trying to change that.
And you know what? I somewhat agree with what you're saying. But in saying that, we have to look at the cause behind a lot of that. For example, cash cars. That's a small business, right?
Small business.
One of the things I believe we have to do is kind of to encourage small business. See, for the most part, I believe that, and we've all experienced this, is that, we go to school and the goal is to complete school so that you can do what? Get a job. Work for somebody else.
Work for somebody else.
But see, we're not encouraging people to go to school and learn business and create your own job. We're not teaching that. So with you being involved in the community and having a business, from what I know of, you with cash cars, I don't know if you have another stream of income, but we don't teach or encourage that. And what I believe that we see a lot of is, we see a lot of us, especially as youth, we find it hard or difficult to work for somebody else because of the way they treat us. So with cash cars, what inspired you, or how did you get started? For somebody that's out there that wants to become a community leader and wants to have that freedom to be involved in the community and that freedom to be able to work and make their own money, how did you get involved with cash cars and get that started so that you can become a small business owner?
Well, let me answer the first, because I do. If you see any tow truck with the sling unit on the back, I encourage that. If you see anybody under the age of 45 trying to sell cars, I encourage that.
Absolutely.
So it's people, and this is what I'm trying to get people like myself to do. I come from the hood, you know what I mean? Straight up sold crack from 16 to 35, right? So what we have a problem in the black community is people like me who destroyed the community. I helped destroy it. That's why I do what I do, you know what I mean? To try to right my wrongs, get my eulogy together. So what I try to encourage more ex-drug dealers that sold drugs in the neighborhood just like me, I try to get them to understand, okay, this is what's going on. When I was young, it was my OG taught me how to sell crack, taught me how to hustle. Okay, me calling myself an OG, I'm not gonna teach them that because, you know what I'm saying, that was wrong. So you have a lot of OGs like myself who got their life together and left the hood. Okay? Now they got a job before it, they left the hood. Now they have their own business, they left the hood. You know what I mean? So who are these kids looking up to? Who is left in the hood? All right, the people we got strung out on crack and alcoholics. That's why you have so many young people out here panhandling and not hustling. You dig what I'm saying? So it's a cause and effect. So the way I started doing cash cars was I always had a passion for cars. And you have all of these buy here, pay here now lots. You have all these title loan places. You have all these places placed in the hood to make sure you don't own nothing. Pawn shops. Make sure whatever you own, you don't own it no more, because you pawn it. The title loan places, 500% interest rates when you take your car in there. And the whole thing is, people don't read. People don't read, man. That's how they get got. You go in there and you have a car you paid for, right? You own it. You just need a couple of dollars to pay some bills. Well, they say, all right, we give you $1,500. All right? So then they say, oh, you pay us $150 a week. You know what I mean? 2 weeks or whatever. Well, that's not on the principal. That's just on the interest. Right. So most people like, oh man, I've been paying you all this money. I should be paid all. They was like, nah. You didn't pay on the principal. You paid on the interest. You still owe us that whole $1,500.
Right. So
people are losing things. So I try to get it to where when you come to my lot and you say, I got $2,500. I'm gonna try to sell you a car for $2,000.
Right.
I'm gonna try to make sure you get your tags and your insurance. The main thing that you're gonna need to move around in this neighborhood to keep the police off your ass. You dig what I'm saying? So you don't have nobody in the hood really looking out for nobody. You know what I mean? So that's where I come in at, you know what I mean? Because people are getting beat. If you don't know nothing about cars, and then most of these men that's out here, they don't know nothing about cars neither. Right. I get a kick out of when these girls bring their baby daddies in, and then they give them the money. I see it. They give them the money so it make it feel like they doing something. So then they supposed to be checking the fluids, or checking the car out, making sure it's cool. So then I say, man, you ain't go check the blinker fluid. And so if somebody looks for the blinker fluid, that mean they don't know what they doing, man, because there's no such thing as blinker fluid. Right. You know what I mean? So I get a kick out of that. You know what I mean? So I try to educate the women, and then the men that come, I don't really try to educate them, because all they go do, and when I sell a car to a young lady, this car will last you as long as you keep your baby daddy out of it. You have women that work, they get these income tax monies, they got 4 or 5 kids, they are looking for an SUV, and I say you need a minivan. You know what I mean? But the baby daddies be like, oh, we need a Tahoe or Suburban, and that's not a girl's car. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get you what you need, not what this nigga wants. You dig what I'm saying? So you get a lot of women, then I tell them, like, man, that car, when you said you needed something, and I know you're not gonna keep the maintenance up, that minivan is what you need. I ain't no soccer mom. Well, baby, you working on a soccer team. So I'm just saying, you need a minivan. It got TV in it, doors open automatically. I really try to sell them on the minivan, because I sold a 2-door Mitsubishi Eclipse to a young lady that's probably 7'10". Right. With 4 kids. Okay. Now, she had a baby in a car seat, the baby in a car seat, and then she had a toddler in the regular seat, and she had a 5-year-old, right? And then she had a teenage daughter. Now, I'm telling her this minivan is cheaper. You can save some money and help the kids out. She was dead set on buying a car from somebody else. Now, she shoved that baby in there in that car seat. Baby can't even put his feet nowhere but on her head, because she laid back. The 5-year-old stuck in between the 2 car seats. The other baby, he's sitting up. Then the teenager, she's sitting in the car, and I was just like, and I had to speak my piece. Make a long story short, that car broke down in 2 weeks. And I told her,
So now is that just from like not keeping the maintenance up on it?
No, that was from her trying to look cute. See,
Yes.
I bought a car as is, so the car she bought from a partner of mine that was on the lot, the car had a leak, radiator leak.
Right.
All she had to do was get the leak fixed, but she spent all her money on this car, so she didn't even have no money to fix it.
Right.
So she just
right.
kept driving it, trying to put water in it, and it blew the head gasket.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, you said two important things that kind of caught my attention. We mentioned hustle and ownership. What steps did you take, with your background and everything coming up? What steps did you take, or what type of encouragement inspired you to change your hustle from crack cocaine, drugs, and everything into honest money?
To honest money. Okay, that's real simple, man. I always sold cars, and I sold crack. One day, they kicked in my house. I done dodged the feds for years, you know what I mean? And they kicked in my house and they took my bro to jail, right? And so when they took him to jail, you know what I mean? Me and him on the phone, we shattered a couple of tears together because I'm like, bro, you gone. You know what I mean? You just got home, man. You only been home a year, you know what I mean? So I sat back and I was already like, man, I'm tired of this, you know what I mean? I was already about to quit. I had a nice amount of money saved up, and I had a few cars, and I was just gonna open up a car lot full time. Bro went to jail. They took, you know what I mean? I lost whatever. I sat on the edge of the bed, man, and I really prayed, man. I prayed. And when I prayed, at this time I had a perm down my back. I carried a $2,500 dog. I never pumped my gas. I kept a crackhead around me like Mr. Benson. So I sat on the edge of the bed, man, and I asked myself, you know what I mean? If I was in bro shoes, would I tell? And so I had to think about something. I'm like, I'm a daddy. I love my kids. I never been to jail a day in my life. I mean, as far as like traffic tickets and child support, but that was never nothing to where I did time. I never did any time from juvenile to adult. Here I am, 35 years old, ain't really worked a job, ain't did nothing. So I asked myself, self, would you tell if you was in them shoes?
Right.
And self said, hell yeah, nigga, you'd tell. Straight up. It was no doubt in my mind. But with me being brought up in the streets, ran the streets, and we all know, nobody likes snitches. And my thing is, my name is more important than anything. You know what I mean? So I have a name that rings bells around here not because I was a gangster where I shot people or nothing like that. It's because I always try to help people.
Right.
Even when I sold dope. You know what I mean? If you said you want to quit smoking crack, I'm gonna help you. My neighbors, when they grass need to be cut, I cut their grass. I had their grass cut. I tell my neighbors, hey, if you short on anything, come holler at me. So even when I was in the streets, I was still helping. So when I made the transition and prayed, man, I woke up at 6 o'clock the next day and went to the barbershop. The barbershop opened at 9. I showed up at 7. Because I'm on the edge of the bed having a conversation with God. Like, man, why are you telling me to cut my hair? I just got it done. You know what I mean? Now think about a man with a perm down his back. You dig what I'm saying? Not to down his back. To where my whole comedy career was built off of the hair, because my pickup line with the women was off the hair. You know what I mean? I could pick up any chick with one pickup line. And I'll be like, hey, if I give you the original pickup line, would you go out with me? And they said, yeah. What is it? Let's go get our hair done.
Right.
And so I would take girls on dates and we would go to the beauty shop. But we would go to the House of Heavenland where it cost me $25 each. And I brought my own flat irons. You know what I mean?
Right. That's cool, man. Okay. So
then I started selling. I started junking first.
Oh,
that's where the Cash 4 cars came from.
Right.
I started junking first because I was praying to God, praying. Like, man, just keep me straight. I never prayed for nothing. I prayed, just keep me straight. I knew it was gonna be a long, hard road, and my number stayed the same. People will still call me for crack because it was people. I dealt with so many people, and I was always business. That's why when I started selling cars, I kept it always business. When I had bad crack, I tell them, I got bad crack today. You dig what I'm saying? Now, as soon as you buy all this crack, I get you some good crack, and I'll throw you in a little extra. They bought the crack. So whenever I got a car that wasn't working too well, I cut you a deal. This car ain't running too well. You know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? I go to the auction, drive this piece of shit until I get you another piece of shit.
Right.
That's where it keep me from getting shot.
So basically you kind of had the crack brand,
yes.
sort of.
So this right here is saying I sell crack. You dig what I'm saying? But cars. Now I just switched to hustle. So instead of crack, it's cars.
Right.
Everybody need a car. From teenagers to grandmas, you know what I mean? You know, hey, everybody needs a car. And I get a bigger kick out of seeing my cars ride around through the city. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'll make $200, you know what I mean? But it's it's just a simple fact. I know somebody's going to go to work every day. You know what I mean? Right. I know somebody is not going to be on the bus stop. I know somebody's not going to be walking up Truce or down Prospect with their kids anymore. You dig what I'm saying? Right. So I'm more proud of putting cars out there for a cheap price and affordable.
Right.
And they ain't got to look over their head. You know what I mean? Because like when you lose your job, man, and you can't make your car payment, man, you know the suicide rate kind of went up that they ain't talking about with this pandemic. Because when people lost their jobs, they lost their car. Your car, if you are not used to riding the bus, that car is your lifeline.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? If you working way out in Overland Park, that's your lifeline.
Yeah.
Ain't no buses. You gotta work up at 4, 5 o'clock in the morning to get to the bus stop, and then ride 7 buses to get out there. You dig what I'm saying? I mean,
that's your transportation to making revenue.
And so my whole thing is I'm proud to give people that lifeline. You know what I mean? To make people, to brighten people's day, and you know what I mean? To keep people from wanting to commit suicide and shit like that. You know what I mean?
And see, that's the God in you that's working.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and to kind of finish what I'm saying here. So that right there is how you changed your hustle. Yeah. So let me ask you this here, or let me get your thoughts on this, because you mentioned earlier how we talked about how the Asians had the hair weave shops and the hair weave and the hair stores. You have the East Indians, they got the hotels and some of the gas stations, and your Middle Easterners who got the gas stations. We see that, and that's the image we see.
Right.
As black men, what do we have?
Car lots, body shops.
And I guess basically what I'm saying is we see this area of business.
Yeah.
When we think about different cultures, for even your Latinos, you know, who are cutting grass. Yeah. You think of business and Latinos, we think of cutting lawns. Like I said, Middle Easterners and East Indians, hotels and gas stations.
Yes, sir.
Black people.
But see, the whole thing is, black people had all that. We had all that. Most of Prospect was black owned. What I see, okay.
Well, let me say this. Let me ask you a different way. What's our brand? What is our brand when people look at us as business people? What is our brand?
We really ain't branding nothing, man. I mean, because everything is a hustle. Like if you come through Kansas City, the only thing that we got claim to fame is the tow trucks, the body shops, the mechanic shops, and car lots.
Right.
But as far as like any of those other companies, we don't have nothing that the black community really comes to and spend all their money with. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
We don't even have chicken. How many soul food restaurants do you know of?
We known for eating it.
There we go. But the Iranians is making the money off of it. Jay's Chicken, I thought Jay's Chicken was a black man. And then you go in there, you got Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, and all these people on the wall, and I'm thinking I'm supporting the brother, and then here comes Cuz with the dot collecting the cash. You dig what I'm saying? So we don't have nothing. Listen, even, and it's sad to say, even some of the black businesses that we have are guilty of ciphering all the money out the hood and directing it out there. When you are a black business owner and you making money in the hood, because the hood ain't broke, we just got poor spending habits, right? So when you have the Iranians getting their money, that money don't come back to the hood. That money goes to they country. You know what I mean? They cul-de-sacs, right? When you got the Asians that get a whole lot of money out the hood, I'm talking about from the hair products, and I know of 2 black-owned beauty shops, beauty supply stores, right? How many Asians have a beauty shop? None of the Asians run beauty shops. How many Asians you see wear weave? They don't even use the shit they sell. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they make all the money. Why is that? Why is that? A lot of black businesses, once they start succeeding, the first thing they want to do is move out the hood. So when they move out the hood, they take that money with them. So the hood go continue to look like this. You got so many black business owners that don't put the money back in the business. You dig what I'm saying? And then they settle and sell to the Iranians that this business that been in their family for years. Daddy owned it, grandpa owned it. But then when they get it, they don't know how to take and manage it and make it look like something. Somebody come through with measly $100,000. Oh, that's more money than I ever seen. And then they cash out, and then what they do? They turn around, throw some lights and some new paint. Now it's booming. This is the same thing that you had. You had it. You had control over it.
Right.
And now they are making millions of dollars. Off of what your mama and daddy left you.
Right. So would you agree, based on what you said, would you agree that as black people, that in a sense we have high self-esteem and low cultural esteem? Because I think that for the most part, when we are in business, we are confident in the products that we sell. We have a certain level of confidence. But then when it comes to doing business with other black people or collaborating with other black people, we become
retarded.
There you go. You see what I'm saying? That's why I say we have a low cultural esteem. We're like, I want your business, but my customer service towards you may not be what it should be, or I may not collaborate with you.
But you know what we have a big problem with is pride. Nobody takes pride in their work. I didn't listen, because I can speak on this very, 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 very firmly, because every time I did business with a black man, starting off, he does great. Oh man, you super nigga around here, man. As they start getting comfortable, the pride goes away. I had a guy that I couldn't find nobody to cut my grass right. Finally found him. He cut the grass, he do the trimming, he do all this, and I'll pay him. I don't try to because I know it's gonna get done right.
Right.
I'm promoting him. I'm having him cut everybody's grass. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, I got a guy. I got a guy. And then he starts slacking on his production. He starts slacking on when he was coming through. You know what I mean? He wouldn't call. He wouldn't. You know what I mean? I'm like, bro. And then when he did come, he'd do a rush job. Wouldn't do the trimming no more, you know what I mean? And then start trying to charge extra. So black people can get the business because you see it on Facebook all the time. But the consistency, that's the whole thing. Because see, you got more people, and this, I know you could, this is what I see in the black neighborhood. You have more black people going broke, trying to look rich in front of more black people. Right?
Right.
Don't make sense, because can't nobody call nobody broke if we can have a conversation. I can't call you broke, you can't call me broke.
Right.
Because we can sit up and have a conversation. Now, if it was some Jay-Z, you know, now, yes, he can call all of us broke. You know what I mean? But nobody's running around, but these black folks looking like Jay-Z, you know what I mean, want to dress like Jay-Z, but they the gold is fake, you know what I mean? The girls running around, you know what I mean? The girls running around with fake hair, fake asses, fake titties, fake nails, fake jewelry, anything that they can buy at the Chinese shop, fake. But then have the nerve to say they want a real nigga. So what do you see? What do you see? What do you see? When you see the girls running around with the fake hair, the fake nails, all this fake shit, what do they attract? The niggas with the fake Gucci belts, the fake gold teeth, you know what I mean? All they fake, bringing together fake. You know what I mean? So it's hard when you real, you know what I mean? It's hard to find real people, because everybody is so drawn to the fake.
So then we have to look at, I guess, then how do we change that dynamic? Because like you mentioned earlier in the conversation, I think you mentioned women bringing, niggas to the car lot to choose the car that they want. So we got to look at how to change that dynamic, because I love black men. Not as in a gay sense. I love just who we are as men. And when I say that in the sense that, you know, there are things that we just don't know.
Right.
You know, I read a lot and I study a lot, but at the same time, I can't know everything.
Right.
I think that as black men, we have to mentor and educate each other.
There we go.
For example, Desmond.
Yes, sir.
Cash Cars. You have the opportunity and the gift to educate other brothers.
And I do
on
every
how
time.
to purchase a vehicle.
I do every time.
And I think with that approach, we have to approach it with a certain level of sensitivity, because as we know as men, sometimes our pride and our egos won't allow us to be taught something that we don't know. And I say that in the sense that for us to be good men, good black men to our black women,
Right.
I think you have the gift and the opportunity and the benefit to add an element to men when they do come out. Yeah, I get what you were saying in the conversation, that sometimes you get these men to come out there and try to control, you know, a woman's spending and how she's spending, what she's spending on, whether it's a benefit to her,
'Cause they ain't got no
whether
money.
he's gonna be around,
Yeah.
he might be temporary.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But I think what you being involved in the community as you are, and people knowing you, having the popularity that you have.
Right.
Like I said, you know, before the show, we started the show, we were talking about leadership,
Right,
and everything, and I think that you have a position of leadership, being a businessman, and I talked about this in the past too. You know, we've all heard, or we still hear men and women looking at us or calling us kings and queens and this and that. And I had a conversation with a woman once who referred to me as a king when I was going through some things, and I had to let her know that I didn't feel like a king because, you know, I went through my divorce and everything, and I believe that a king, or at least if you're moving toward kingship, then you moving toward ownership.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because I believe that, and I believe that you believe this too, based on our conversation, is that ownership is key when it comes to us as a culture. You know, we can't call ourselves kings and queens if we don't own anything.
Right.
You see
and
what I'm
if
saying?
you don't carry yourself.
Right, and carrying yourself as
because you
such.
you can't say you a king and you don't know how to rule a Section 8 house.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't call yourself a queen and you running around acting like a prostitute. You dig what I'm saying? And the whole thing is, we need more people to be community leaders. We don't have no community leaders. We got politicians. We got people who are out here just try to get money off of us, and get votes. the black community holds 63% of the votes, and the people who are in power knows that. That's why you keep seeing black mayors, black city council, because once you put a white mayor or white city council, when they start taking money and stuff like that, then it's like, oh, the white man, you know what I mean? So what better person to do it? Put a black man out there. Put it. So you can't say it's racist. You can't say anything about it because this is your black leader. But these are not black leaders. We do not have no black leaders. These are just black politicians with white strings. They puppets. You know what I mean? So they are not looking out for the community. So when you try to set up community-based events, well, the people who are empowered to help you do that, the people who's pulling the strings said, "No, you can't get involved in that." And it's like, why can't you get involved in this? You know what I mean? Why bringing the community together is such a bad thing? Well, let's think about it. If we bring the community and the police together, do you think that we'll keep on having all these unsolved murders? Because the only reason why we have unsolved murders is because nobody feels comfortable with talking to the police. Nobody has a cop friend that they can call and say, hey man, I want to give you some information about this here. If you have any information, you go to the police, they go ask you, well what's your name? What's your social security number? What's this and what's that? Bro, I'm trying to give you information. I'm not trying to get interrogated. I'm letting you know this is what happened and this is who did it. I'm not trying to go to jail behind it. You know what I mean? Yeah, because I say 75% of blacks in the community have some type of warrant. Some type of warrant. If it's just a ticket. You dig what I'm saying? But nobody wants to go to jail. Nobody. You know what I mean? They got this thing right now where you can turn yourself in and get it restarted. All they gonna do is give you court dates. They just taking the warrants off of you. But at the end of the day, they still gonna try to lock you up. So I just keep the warrants that I got because you go give them to me again because I'm not coming back.
So how do we change that? Because, okay, see, I guess, listen, I mean, and we've heard this before, and I think as a culture we're still kind of working on this because it sounds like we're still looking for somebody to do something for us.
Yes.
And at some point in time, we have to make the decision to do for ourselves. For example, if you have a politician in office that's not doing what you feel like he should do, that shouldn't necessarily stop you from doing what you need to do for your family and in your community. If something's not right in your community, like for example, with people like yourself, small business owners getting together with people in the community and trying to figure out how to circulate our income so that we can make change for ourselves. What do we need to do in the community from what you've seen? Because I can probably guarantee that you're in the community more than me. Even with some of the things that I do, it sounds like you're in the community more than me. With what you see in business and being in the community, what do we need to do as a community to make change aside of seeking assistance from the politicians in our city government?
Well, first of all, we have to come together. We got to try to build that unity that we had back when when Malcolm X and Martin Luther King was alive.
Okay.
Because that's the only way. And now you have more whites, Latinos, because it's not a black and white thing anymore. This is the have and have-nots. You know what I mean? We getting to that point. It ain't black and white. It's not, because you have more white people that'll do more for a black than a black person will. You got the Latinos and the Mexicans. I mean, if you ever had a job with them, bro, they don't care about color. You know what I mean? If you hungry, they feed you. You know what I mean? So we don't have no unity. You don't have the head people of the blocks. You don't have nobody to look up to. So we need more people. If you have some kind of influence, and this is a beautiful thing that I learned, and I'm gonna say this. I listened to Malcolm X and Martin Luther King every time they played it Black History Month, right? I didn't hear it. I heard it, but I didn't hear it. R. Kelly got a song, When a Woman's Fed Up. I heard the song.
Right.
Sung it and all that shit. But you know when I heard the motherfucker? Is when my girl left me. That's when I heard the song. You dig what I'm saying? I heard the song very loud, very clear. So I say that to say this. Now, since I am the man that I am and I'm trying to make change, I hear Malcolm X and Martin Luther King loud and clear.
Right.
I understand the plan. I understand it takes somebody like me, because what he did was he brought a bunch of people together who had a following, right? Sam Cooke had a following. Muhammad Ali had a following. Jim Brown had a following. You know what I mean? Malcolm and Martin had a following. So the whole thing is they was bringing their followers together to give them the information saying, hey, instead of going out tearing things up, we can make change through voting in people who look like us, who talk like us, who live in the same neighborhoods as us.
Right.
You know what I mean? And when they got killed, all of that went away, because if we still had people who spoke out in the black community about certain things on a regular basis, because that's what I'm trying to bring now. What I'm trying to bring to the city now is a place that we can gather so we can talk about our issues, our problems, and what we can do. Forget about the politicians, because they're not going to do nothing. I learned within these last 2 years, going down there, helping them out, doing all this means nothing, because they have an agenda. The people who put them in that position have an agenda for them. They just the person that drive the car. You know what I mean? The taxi service, the guy who owns the company don't drive the cars. He puts some people in there to drive the cars, and he makes the phone call, go pick this person up, you go pick this person up. And so it's people that's pulling the strings, you know what I mean, having them do what they do. You know what I mean? So the whole thing is, how can we complain about that? How can we complain about the mayor that we voted in if we voted him in? Because, all right, you got this person and that person, and neither one of these people really stand for nothing that you're trying to get done. So we need a third person. We need that person. We need a third option, because I feel like in the presidency, we had Joe Biden and Donald Trump, right? We had them two. We didn't have nobody else. I didn't even vote, because it was like, who am I voting for?
Right.
What am I voting for? Neither one of them standing for nothing that I'm trying to get done. If we would have put a monkey in that seat and said, hey, it's Joe Biden, Donald Trump, and this monkey, the monkey would have won. We would have been the first city. we would have been the first city to have, the first country to have a monkey for president. So what I'm trying to do, my main goal, see, I took the cash card platform. I was the first person who made history in Kansas City, first person to do this, first person to do that. So a lot of people, I was just at City Trends buying this shirt for the show, right? So the lady was like, you don't shoot no more commercials. What happened? You know what I mean? And I was like, well, young lady, instead of me using that platform to entertain you, I'm using my platform to inform you. You dig what I'm saying? Because everybody is trying to be into entertainment. Look on Instagram. It done turned into straight porn. These girls are selling a soul for $3.50. Fans only. Like I'm not understanding they doing all kind of stuff. They jumping straight into porn. You got guys out here doing the dumbest shit at Walmart, getting shares and likes. If you get enough shares and likes, you start getting cash and currency. But look what you're doing.
Right.
You're not putting black people up on a pedestal. You just showing how fucking retarded we can be for shares and likes. You know what I mean? The whole sideshow thing. There ain't nobody making no money off of that. They doing it for shares and likes.
Right.
People running up and smacking people in public for shares and likes. So when we go start doing stuff for cash and currency, you know what I mean?
And you make a very valid point, because when you look at the dynamics of social media, it's distracted us from a lot of things that are more important.
Yes.
And it's unfortunate that we're distracted by entertainment. You can even look into the churches and you can see
Yes.
You can even look into churches and see a lot of the churches are
I've
about
been to a church.
entertainment. I mean, it's almost like a concert.
Yes.
A ballet show, a mime show, a puppet show.
Ain't nothing
and then
about
you have like
the Bible.
20 minutes of preaching, 30 minutes of preaching.
20, 30 minutes of a fool up there hooping and hollering about nothing.
And I think it's unfortunate that we've put ourselves in a position to where we're so caught up in entertainment that, I'm not even gonna say caught up, but we're blinded by entertainment that we don't see a lot of the important issues that's going on.
And that's why I changed.
Okay, yeah. So, Cash Cars, where are we located at?
It's under new management. It's called KC Budget Motors, 5915 Prospect.
Okay.
I am Cash Cars.
Okay.
I'm Cash Car, the person. The company is KC Budget Motors.
KC Budget Motors.
5915 Prospect at the legendary car wash.
Okay.
Where a lot of history has been made.
And how can people get a hold of it? Like, can they call you?
Yeah,
You
call
got
me
a
direct.
Social media page? Do you have like a website where they can view the vehicles?
Well, the cars get sold so quick.
It goes so quick. Yeah. Okay.
I'll shoot a commercial and the car is pretty much gone within a couple of days. So doing all that, having inventory, what happened to old school, just bring your money, fucking test drive a car and buy the motherfucker. There's so many people that call me and be like, what about this and what about that? That's why I shoot a whole video from the time I bought a car from the auction with all the dirt on it, test drive all the way to the lot, then the live video of me cleaning the motherfucker, you know what I mean? The test drive back to the lot, you know what I mean? So some people get it. And so some people will call me like, do you still have the car? They'll pull up and just be like, here. And I'm like, don't you want to test drive? They was like, we seen you from A to B. We know it's a good car. We trust you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
That's cool.
with me having that on my jacket of a person that you can trust, I feel good about that. And the main thing that we about to do, we about to make change. I'm about to make history once again, because as a black man, either you go be history, and that's gonna be an obituary and a t-shirt, or you gonna make history to where you done did something around here to where it just gonna change the dynamics of what's going on in your neighborhood. And see, you got everybody trying to get rich and for Bentleys and bitches and all that other shit that don't mean nothing. You know what I mean? Man, I'm just trying to rewrite black history, you know what I mean, and get a statue. That's it.
Now, can they call you?
Yes, 778-5751. Call the number you want to have some fun.
Say that again.
816-778-5751.
That's what's up.
You can catch me on Facebook. No, I ain't going on Twitter. That's just straight porn. But Instagram, Instagram, and mostly Facebook, because Facebook got the older crowd. I kind of like stay off of Instagram because that's for the kids, and I'm really not gonna be on Twitter because, like I said, I don't have a fans only page, and for $3.50 per view, I don't know what I would do for that. But evidently, for $3.50, you can see a young lady sell her soul to the devil.
Now you got a website?
Yes, Cash Car, www.cashcarkc.com.
Okay.
But that's it. It's just really Facebook Cash Cars. I mean, you can Google Cash Cars and you will see a picture of me.
Awesome. Desmond Logan, my brother.
Nah, man, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, man.
Glad to have you on Listen Up, man.
Man, I'll come back when I get this other thing going.
We'll look forward to having you on, man.
Thank you, sir.
All right. And that concludes our show for this evening. We'd like to thank our guests, our staff, our sponsor, and our supporters for their contributions. But most importantly, we'd like to thank you, our viewers. Be sure and tune in for our next broadcast and follow us online. Thank you. Good night.